This set is the definition of value town, and that's why I want to make this video to show you guys what exactly is coming out in this set. A lot of decks that are rogue are getting crazy game-changing support. Revolution Synchron is also in this set. I think it's going to be the most sought-after card in probably a long time in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's get straight to it, guys, with Duelist Nexus, the cards you want to know about and the cards you should be wary of, and maybe what you should be buying as well before it goes up in price. Let's get into it. Coming up first, I want to talk about the best cards from the Duelist Nexus set. Having a brand new archetype make its way in the TCG is so exciting, and I'm really glad this is a really powerful one because I've actually played against it. They can banish themselves from the graveyard. One stops targeting prevention, and the other one is a monster effect negation. If you have Hammer the Flying Mythical Beast on your field, everything is searchable, everything does something when it goes grave or used as material. I can genuinely see this topping events and honestly being a nuisance to a lot of players. The fusion spell, which can be used and fuse from hand or field as a quick play spell, and it can also, in the same turn you use it, you can add it to the hand so you can do another fusion summon. And I've definitely got my eyes on Illusion. I'll probably most likely be picking them up myself, and I think this is actually a gateway for even new players to get into the game, have fun. It can only get better as this is the first set for the Illusion archetype. We have to look at Snake Eye, because having a monster go in the spell and trap card zone because a rise out can interact with the face down banish pile, I think this is the next best option. Now for me personally, I love my going second power spells like Ultimate Slayer, but again, having a monster in the ST zone means they're never gonna get it back, and I think for that reason we have to consider this as one of the best power spells generic cards, just like Thrust was in Hypernova, that you want to pick up and make sure you have a playset of. Revolution Synchron has been confirmed as a secret rare. I was speaking about how Chaos Angel was the synchro power creep, but now we get Revolution Synchron. Any deck in the game with a level 4 monster can now make a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon basically for free. This card is going to bring back Tournament in my opinion, but it also sets up the Ancient Fairy Dragon, which I am working on by the way, so stay tuned for the updated Duelist Nexus Tournament Mannadium deck. Tuning is not once per turn, and it sends a card from the top of your deck to the graveyard. This card does the exact same thing. For that reason, I think everyone needs to have a playset of this card, basically the chase card of Duelist Nexus. No one is kicking a fuss about this card. You'd think that it was a custom card, but no, this actually exists. If a monster you control leaves the field by an opponent's monster effect except by being destroyed, you can actually end the opponent's main phase 1. If it's your turn, you simply make them skip it. I really think this card has a high potential, and this is one of those crazy wacky power spells. I think skipping someone's main phase 1 is absolutely absurd, and we're getting to a really crazy point in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now. If something like this isn't even considered, there's very easy ways for this to trigger with cards like Kashtira Fenrir, Miraja, the Ice Blade Dragon, and of course if you're losing to something like Nibiru and you think that card really hurts your deck, this might be the perfect card for you. And remember, this card also stops Zeus being summoned. Crimson Dragon has changed the way Mannadium is being played, and I'm super excited. I cannot wait for this card to release. You can target a level 7 or higher synchro on the field, you tag out Crimson Dragon, and you bring out a synchro with the same level as that monster. And what you can do in the Mannadium deck now is summon your Baron Devler, which you want to get out anyway, and then you tag out Crimson Dragon for a Bestial Dispel. You actually get to dodge the requirements for a Bestial Dispel. So Crimson Dragon is in a way Power Creep the Axel Synchro. This card is probably going to see even more use as they can tag into a lot of useful things. I think Scar Red Dragon Archery is going to be a really cool one. Keep in mind that also lets us bridge the Revolution Synchron as a level 1 into an Abyss, which is also really good. That card can be Dark Blue Normal by the way if you chain it after you've chained a spell or trap to the Dark Blue Normal. So just a little tech you can do thanks to a card like this, making that play much more consistent. Konami is on a roll, making lesser represented decks now extremely playable, and in that top tier rogue status, I can definitely see Unchained being one of those. With that crazy Link 2 monster, if it's special summoned, you can add an Unchained monster from the deck or graveyard to the hand. It has a second effect that actually triggers, and it's going to let you banish this card from the graveyard to special a field monster and then pop a card on the field. They now have good interaction on the opponent's turn. 2 monsters for Yusarctic, a Synchro monster which actually tags out into Septentrion. The boss monster is a Rex Floodgate for things that don't have a level. With the new Yusarctic Synchro, there also is a Rex Floodgate for leveled monsters. So basically your opponent cannot activate anything. An Ultimate Knight Alpha Ursatron, because this can be freely special summoned. Search the Yusarctic Radiation, which is the best card in the deck, and once they see that draw 7, they're going to be so mad because that card is actually broken. I'm not entirely sure how much this one support card does for the runic archetype, but honestly having a fusion that brings out tokens which can help you link climb, as well as actually banishing itself and a monster the opponent controls, so your EM zone is actually freed up. I wonder if the Sprite for higher deck will even play this card as well. I think this card is one of the best designs Konami has ever made. I really wish they keep doing this now, where you can turn a boss monster with a sort of standard high level into a link one, and that is the new boss monster. It's very combo heavy. It has insane resource scape thanks to that field spell, which is also an ultra rare. It's a very unique way of comboing with equipped spells and synchros and link monsters. With Visas and Ratara, it becomes Visa Starfrost. It being a level 8 synchro, it can actually bridge into the Crimson Dragon with a level 4 heart monster. Of course, searching that spell you're missing, Mannadium reframing, and if you're a fan like me of Mannadium Prime Heart, this is a light level 8 synchro tuner. And so if you add another tuner on top, like the Meek or the Fearless, for example, you're gonna have a Prime Heart that can attack twice, can't be targeted, and then it's probably gonna OTK them for like 9,000 attacks. So I think this card low-key is a good OTK enabler. And remember, it's Visa Starfrost in the field, so it can go into the Lightheart now. I just put out a video for the Rescue Ace deck. This deck is probably going to be tier 1, and I've been playing it a lot online, testing it against the current meta decks, and it's doing really well at the moment with Preventer, with Emergency, and with Preventer also having a Book of Immune effect. You can actually Book of Immune a Casteria monster. It being a fire archetype, you can actually main Goza match, can't be bestial. There's a lot of things going right for this deck, and I've been testing a version called Rescue Ace Synchro, and I'll definitely be showing that to you guys soon, so stay tuned. I've been talking to a lot of Purrely players, and they're telling me that the Purrely Noir rank 2 is actually going to change the deck quite a bit. We now have a way to set the Purrely Leap, and that is obviously quite a big deal, summoning the Exploding Noir on the opponent's turn, or summoning any of the other boss monsters, which I believe one of them is a field negate as well. So this card also being a compulsory, I think there's a lot of things going right for the deck. Yes, the Delicious Hit was quite bad, and I think this is the perfect support that the deck needed. And remember, Sprite Purrely was a thing with Purrely Plump, so having another rank 2 to go into is actually not bad. We'll have to wait and see if this card truly makes Purrely one of the top decks again. In classic Evolzar fashion, the Exceed monsters can actually be used more than once per turn, as well as this card not being able to be targeted by monster effects as well. You have a Scary Negate that's 2500 that people are really going to struggle to get over, so I think this card is definitely worth picking up. This is one of my favorite sections of the video where we talk about the wild cards coming out of the new Duelist Nexus set. Fusion Reinforcement caught my eye, and I immediately bought the Naturia Exterior Fusion monster because this card can cheat out Barkion or the Beast if it survives the opponent's turn. When it comes back to you, the card has its effects live, so that's a really big deal, and worst case you get to bring out a free material from the extra deck, and I know there's going to be really crazy combos with this card. And the next card I'm super excited to talk about is the Kiriban Trap card, which is a really wacky and honestly really cool card, and I hope Konami makes more cards like this. If 10 or more cards and or effects have been activated this turn, you can special summon this as an effect monster. It is a level 10 Cybers at 3k attack and defense. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can put this card back in the spell trap card zone and destroy as many cards as they control, and Kiriban has definitely got my vote as the best wild card from Duelist Nexus. So what kind of impact do you think Duelist Nexus will have on the meta of the game? Have you thought about it? What do you think is going to be the biggest contenders? I think Revolution Synchron will of course change the way synchros are played. I think synchros are going to be even more splashable than they were before. For decks that have a lot of level 4s but never had a chance to go into a synchro, Revolution Synchron is going to change that, which means any deck can now end on a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon being Nibiru. So now I wonder if Nibiru is going to have a ripple effect and drop down in popularity. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, that's been the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to drop a like. Let me know in the comments what you're excited about in Duelist Nexus. What cards are you looking to pick up? What cards have I missed? Let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one.